Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Firepower Podcast, otherwise known as the Ma Guang and His Boys Podcast. I'm just kidding. Actually, this is a podcast where we chat all things firepower by Robert Kirkman, Chris Samnee, Matt Wilson, and Russ Wooten. I'm Bash, one of your hosts, and I'm joined by my friends and my fellow hosts, Ali and Charlie. How are you guys doing today on this fiery, roasty day?
Doing good. It's a pretty cool action-packed issue we have today. Super excited to get into it. How are you, Charlie?
Yeah, doing pretty good. It's been a busy couple of weeks. I know we've been personally like kind of wall breaking, but trying to get this thing organized for so long. We're real life, we all know gets in the way all the time. But no, excited. We got Black Panther coming up. Cannot wait for that. We had new Radiant Black issue today. Absolutely fantastic. So yeah, over there. Can't wait to talk about that one. And also Firepower 24, skipping a little ahead to real time. That is unreal too. And like reading back through these issues, like really like you can see some things that was revealed in that latest one that are really like just seeds that were placed. And yeah, just really shows how well thought out the series is all the way through. But yeah, I'm doing pretty good. And yeah, can't wait to talk about this.
Yeah. No, Wakanda Forever. I think I'm gonna go see it with the Radiant Matt tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
So I can't wait for
Good
that.
stuff. What time are you going?
Probably like 7, I think.
Oh,
Careful
okay.
though.
It's a long movie though, right? It's like 2
Oh, yeah.
hours and 40 minutes. Yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, I totally forgot about that actually. Okay.
It's very long.
Yeah, I think I'm going in 3D too, like IMAX 3D. I don't normally, but that was the only
hell
thing
yeah.
it went in. So we'll see how that is. I'm excited to see Namor kick some butt. So
Oh yeah.
we'll see how that goes. But yeah.
Actually, it's Namor. No, I'm just
Namor. My bad.
I can't. No, you said it right.
I don't think I could ever
Apparently-
say that. I don't think I could.
Yeah, I've had like years, decades at this point.
But
of
I
saying
do
Namor.
like it. I do like it. Like when he said it, like it's weird, but I didn't mind it. Like it just with the
Oh, no.
accent, like I like it.
Yeah.
I like it.
I agree. I think for the direction they're going in the movie, I think it makes sense. And I'm honestly, I can't wait. Like, yeah, we could probably talk about it too after it's out because I'm excited to share thoughts and everything. I love Namor
sure.
just for the big Namor fan. So
That's awesome. I've never read like I've seen him in a couple of Venom issues, but yeah, know nothing really about him.
he's
So
the first
yeah,
one.
I'm excited. I did know that, but yeah, I literally the most baseline knowledge. I don't. I'm excited to get a
He's
little
bad.
into.
Yeah. I can't wait. I'm happy for people. It's a great year. Like we have Black Adam on the big screen.
Had a lot of great movies this year. Batman.
Getting definitely been getting spoiled all the way. I think this is the last one. We got Avatar in December, but we're getting there.
James Gunn
But yeah,
took over DC. Some light of hope for us fans.
yeah, big things coming.
Yeah.
Let's hope. But yeah, no. Speaking of big action for Namor, ton of action in this issue. Like speaking off, like I remember that cliffhanger last issue really hung us on there. Or literally off a plane. So yeah.
I was gonna say, can we like really say we pick things up in this issue because it starts with him still falling. So.
Yeah. That's true. He's literally. No, but I love like just starting off like the long panels like on that first page, just like showing like just how far he's falling. Like you just like you kind of just see that distance in there. But no, this action was really just epic the whole time, and you saw some awesome fireballs and.
What this really is a Chris Samnee encore. That's what this really is. Like it's just like Kirkman. Like they talked about it later on, and we'll get to that. But in the RC Coda, but. It's just Kirkman letting Chris do his thing here, and it's fantastic because I think it works on a lot of levels for this book because we've already seen this book is heavily action-oriented. We've seen that it's a book that tends to have a lot of twists and turns. And so I think as a reader, maybe at the time, the first time reading this, because we're obviously recording this in November 2022, having already read this many times. But my first time reading this, I was thinking to myself, like, reading issue 8, by the time we got to the end, I was like, oh, there'll probably be like a comic booky way that, someone will save him real quick and something will happen that they won't be falling. And I didn't realize, no, like, these guys are crazy. They're going for like a mostly, just like a James Bond kind of everyone's fighting in midair, literally falling down. It's the issue,
Yeah, no.
This was definitely a crazy fight. Yeah.
It kind of reminded me of that silent scene a little bit, like him, like just like that Chris Samnee show, like you were saying, like that silent scene of just like no dialogue, like him like fighting all the ninjas in the house at nighttime and stuff, or earlier on. But no, literally that's when this book's like definitely at its peak, and we just love how these guys or how like Kirkman just lets Samnee do this, because it really pays off.
It kind of reminded me of the scene we talked about a few issues ago when they're in the car and they're being chased by Kanabo and
that
the rest of the people. But this one almost feels like another level up, and it's a little more intimate because it's just a 1v1. But there's literally just like it's weird because he has to fight for his life, but he's also gonna die because he's falling with nothing to save him. So it's a really like Bash said, it's a Chris Samnee show of action. And it's so good, and it keeps getting better.
Yeah, I love like just the design of this character too. Like she literally just like has like black eyes, like just little pupils. Like her pupils are just white. Like she just looks like death. Like it's pretty. She's pretty terrifying for sure. But no, it's it's awesome. We get a pretty big surprise here, a big reveal that's actually kind of like carries on later in the series too, when Owen decides to launch his fireball there, and I forget the name of the character, but she turns into a bunch of snakes.
What do you guys think of that? Snake's Omen, right? That's what they call her.
Yeah, Snake's Omen.
Yeah. Matt Wilson's coloring though, like look at his colors, every single page.
Yeah, no, it's ridiculous. It really is. What did you guys think of the snakes the first time? Like, can you guys recall or anything? Like, I
was really confused. Like, I was just
it's kind of hard to.
Honestly, I was like, this is what I expected, because I was like, this is where the book started to like show me that it was more like on the. It wasn't quite like a superhero book, like Kirkman said before, but it was more like there's that weird stuff that happens in superhero books where it's like it borders, it borders like the supernatural, exactly. So, I wasn't like shocked, but I was like, oh, okay, like okay. But there is this motif, right? Like going throughout there are many motifs really going throughout the firepower story, but I think 3 recurring motifs that we really see is the butterfly. Some almost like a rebirth symbol.
Yeah.
We have the fire itself, like the firepower, anger. There's the fieriness, and with that comes, this motif of snakes, right? That we discovered almost in the last 2 issues, and that's almost like giving you a distinction now, because before we had the blurred lines of like. He wasn't sure who was the bad guy because they were fighting Chenzul and all those people. But in this issue, we'll see that kind of changes. That's a big twist in this book, where we realize like allegiances in the past, who they thought the enemy was in the past was actually in fact not the case. So I think now we're establishing more clearly the motifs of like snake versus firepower, or so like later on that'll evolve into something else, which I can't talk about yet because it's a spoiler, but I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and I think it kind of goes with what you're saying too, that she's not the person is not really a human anymore, right? Like the snake can take any form. So like you were saying, their past friends are now their enemies, which can also be made of snakes. Like you never know at this point.
Yeah, no, I really like that. I did want to say, I don't know if I'm teasing or skipping ahead to next RC Coda. I don't think so, but him talking about like emotion involved with the firepower. I don't
know.
In
this one, I'm pretty sure. That was in this
we'll get that later, but that didn't like it always was in that, but it was really cool to see him describe that, and it really comes into display here, because what I loved and we see basically the snakes. He throws the fire through the snakes vanish, and he's kind of just floating there. I love just the facial expressions, and he's just, snakes can't fly, and he's just kind of laughing to himself. But the adrenaline gets to him, and he's like, oh shit, like I can't fly either. But
he said he wasn't sure if it was too goofy. What did you guys think? Did you think it was too goofy?
I liked it. I liked it. Like there's a freaking half-page action scene of like snakes flying, and like I don't know. I'm good with it. It did really work.
I agree.
But
it's like the goofiness in Invincible, you know? There's a lot of goofiness similar to that in Invincible, like when he tosses the trash bag. I know it's meant to be functional, but it's also kind of goofy like that.
Yeah, no, it keeps it light. Like it doesn't, like, I don't know, it just keeps it light and fun. Like I know, like he also said like this book too is also like, and I do like, it's more like for all ages compared to his other books, which I do like. I don't, he has all this in his other books, but no, I really do feel kind of those things put in there a little extra. But I love this next page here. When he throws the fireball, and I think this is the first time we've actually seen like almost like lightning or something. It's like coming out, like just showing how much power he's actually putting into that fireball, and it doesn't do anything. He's trying to shoot himself up, Kamehameha, and fly up, but he's still falling down. So
dude, Matt Wilson, like just Matt Wilson, just give me Matt Wilson on all books. Give me Matt Wilson on books. I'll take it.
That lightning around the fire, it's like, that's the best way I can describe it. But man, that looks freaking epic.
When I'm reading the book that Chris and his wife Laura do, Drawn on the Impossible.
Oh yeah,
which is ending really soon. I highly recommend it. It's a fun kids book. It's really fun actually. Really well made book. Awesome artwork by by Chris and his wife, and I think she wrote it. And then we also got Matt Wilson doing the colors. So it's just an all around, it's an all around package, honestly, and I love it. I love reading it every month. It's such a delightful story. It's one of those things that I'm always excited. It's at the top of my pull list. So if you're a fan of Firepower, or if you just like Chris Samnee's artwork and Matt Wilson's coloring, so the artists involved in Firepower, definitely check it out. I think you might be delighted with it. And also, like, it's a good family book as well, like you were saying, because Marty of the Radiant Black Discord, he and Panel to Panel, he read it with his daughter, and they really enjoyed it together. So yeah.
Oh well, okay, yeah, that's awesome. I actually didn't know that, but that's really cool. But yeah, no, like literally just like the desperate, like we just see Owen's desperation here, and like it's really, I just love how intense this scene was, and I think that really made it so good, because like, yeah, if it was a couple pages of him falling and then we see what happens later, it's like, okay, that's cool, but it's like it really just builds up to it, and like just all the things he's trying, and literally he's putting everything into it, but he just like, he can't find a way to save himself.
You can see the desperation too, because he tries to do like one big firepower that saves him like a couple seconds, and then he just gets super desperate and shoots a bunch of them in a row until he finally closes his eyes, sees his life, his past flash before him, musters enough power to. That's probably the biggest fireball we've seen so far.
That page is incredible. Like not just in the detail that it shows, like it's such a good moment, and it emphasizes how he's able to suddenly channel the power to unleash that huge fireball. But it's also the coloring on that page, the panel layout. I just love that page. It struck me as the best page in this issue, even though it's not like a very flashy page in the sense that it's not someone like doing an epic pose, fighting someone else or anything like that. I don't know. This one really hit home emotionally for me. I think I felt exactly what they were going for here. So
yeah.
It's almost color coded too. Like his memories with Ling Zan are orange. His memories with Kelly and his family are a little like pinkish, but and they mentioned this in the RC Coda as well, that, and I think we kind of talked about it before, that the firepower is connected to his emotions, and he closes his eyes, he remembers all the people he cares about, the people closest to him, and that gives him the power to create the biggest fireball ever, and that's pretty much what saved his life.
Yeah, it's like your life flashing before your eyes, kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Like you do or die, and no, it's really cool. And like the coloring again. They talked about how they had like unique coloring for all the different fire powers in this issue, and I really feel that. Like I don't know, man. This is really you really feel the symbiosis of the creators on this book. You really feel that they're all hitting and they're all like on the same page, basically.
Yeah.
But when you're reading this issue for the first time, this is where we get to the end of the epic fight, which is literally at the halfway point of the issue. And then, Kirkman talked about how, we'll talk about this at the end of the issue, but yeah, he passes out, he lands somewhere, passes out, and the next thing you know, it's a completely different kind of island. Chenzul is there, and it's weird because you'd expect Chenzul to expect them to lunge at each other, but he actually tells him at the Temple of the Flaming Fist that you trained with a woman named Lingzan. I'm told the two of you became very close. She was my daughter, and Owen has like a little shock moment, but then he just is like,
doesn't
what?
give the guy any time to rest. Just
no.
right away.
Straight
Just
to
drops
business.
an absolute.
Can you blame him? Yeah, they're both in like a shit situation, but
Oh yeah.
that shot of the island though, like holy shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was very kind of like the first time, or like the first time we see the Temple of the Flaming Fist, but it's just, this is very, very different. They talk about like the difference of designs and the difference they do it, but you just see like Shenzul, and they talk about this as well. Like, this guy's just like rich somehow. Like this guy's got a good setup over here. Like he's got everything. He's got these blimps, like made out of nice gold here.
He's got
like
that lush ass like L'Oreal hair, that Thor hair right there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But he's not slacking. He's definitely living okay. But yeah, but no, that shot, like the waves, like everything was just perfect. But this it was kind of a weird kind of like issue 1 where he wakes up like on an island, and then like he's introduced by a master, but instead it's Shenzul, and he's kind of touring him through this new island. So it kind of reminded me that in the way. But no, it just like and you're kind of curious what's going on, because you don't really know Shinzul's intentions, because literally the last time we saw him, he tried to like murder everyone that Owen knew. So but then we see his family's all okay, and
that's what I feel better. Yeah. Like if he didn't kill his family, that means like he's probably good. That would be worse than killing Owen, like arguably. So
100%.
Yeah. So I mean that's a really nice moment in the issue when they all get to embrace and we get them hugging and you see that they're all worried. Even Kelly is really worried, but he pulls her aside for a moment, they catch up, and I think this is one of my favorite exchanges in the whole issue, because it's just like classic Kirkman dialogue right here. She says, "Scare me, what the hell were you thinking?" And he says, "Her eyes were glowing with energy. I thought she could bring the whole plane down with a bolt of lightning or something. I don't really have time to think. I thought I could push her out the door. I wasn't planning on following her myself." And he says, "Lightning, Owen?" And he says, "I can throw fireballs, Kelly. Can we really rule anything out?" And I'm just like, honestly, like I'm with Owen on this one. Like, man, like everything. Like there's supposedly dragons in this. There's supposedly like, people like moving their hearts not to die. Like what can we really rule out?
I wonder if this is a little like Easter egg or hint, if there's gonna be like a lightning or thunder power later on. Who knows?
Yeah, no, this is literally like, you become like oh shit, what's the daughter's name? I don't know. I just blanked out. But no, the like Owen's daughter.
Haley.
Yeah, Haley. But when she has that moment kind of, and she's like, "Oh, this can't be a prank. Like everyone's traveling around the world, like hunting down for us. Like this has to be real." Like that's kind of like the same moment there. Like it's you can never rule anything out in this book for sure.
Next page, we get the big reveal. I mean, it's weird. It's like Owen's going through a lot of motions right now, and then boom, suddenly he's in his new suit, and I gotta say, I love it. I really do. I love it. It's just so classic. It's just like Invincible. I feel the same thing for the story. It just fits in perfectly. You know what I mean?
I wonder if like years from now, this will be the look that Owen is known for.
That's interesting.
I actually haven't really checked this, but does he wear Jordans with this ever? With this outfit? Because I would definitely love to see that if he doesn't.
I mean, Wei Lun is wearing his Jordans right now.
Oh, he is, but like I need to see some bread ones on Owen, like rocking that outfit or something.
That would be pretty cool, honestly. I'm not gonna lie.
Like
But
some
yeah,
Miles Morales type stuff. But no, I love it, and seeing like I love how Chris Samnee he purposely put those shoes there. He decided to draw them, and we know how much he hates drawing.
Barely drew them though. Like he got.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's something. It's something. He always forgets it. I'll give him credit.
I don't know if it's Chris or Russ that did the gong with their faces in it to almost show like the immediate sense of shock. Yeah. But I love that. I think that's just absolutely incredible. I love it where it's like placed on the page too.
There was something like that in the OGN, right?
Yep.
Yeah. You mentioned you like that one a lot too.
Yeah, it's really cool. I think it works really well here as well, and the placement really emphasizes the effect of it. So I enjoy that a lot. I mean, this is honestly like there's a lot happening in this issue, despite it being a very short issue. But yeah, they sound the alarm. It turns out just to be Ma Guang, and he's just joined the party here. But you could see they're delighted just to see that it's nothing serious. And as we're closing off the issue here, we see that they're talking about. We see Chenzul upstairs in some sort of building with somebody, and he's saying it was nothing, merely a new arrival. Just saying that everything's working out and that they're getting ready to fight back. And then you realize, and he's just telling someone not to hide anymore. There's no point in being in the shadows. And then you realize this person says there's too much at stake if we don't win the battle tomorrow. All is lost. We can't afford distraction. And then you see on the next page that not only is Ling Zan alive, but she's got hair. The Chenzul genetics are flowing nicely. The hair, that luscious hair, it's a family thing. You can see it right here. But Ling Zan looking as incredible as ever. Just it turns out she's not dead. So, I mean, big questions here. Obviously, it's hard for us to to really answer them since we already know what happens. But my question is, did you guys see this coming the first time you were reading this story? Did you guys expect
absolutely not? Absolutely not. No, I didn't think she would be his daughter, first of all, and she'd be alive, and she would have hair again.
Yeah, I expected her to come back at some point. Like I mean, no, that's not true. I'm not gonna lie. I did have the thought that she might come back at some point. I didn't expect it, but I did not think that she would be the daughter of Chenzul like that. I didn't think that they would have any association with any other characters.
Yeah, definitely not. No.
Yeah, so that was huge. Are you guys excited? Are you happy? Because I like Ling Zan a lot, so I'm not gonna lie. I'm really happy because I like not only. We were talking earlier about how goofy this book can be in a good way, and I was excited because this means that we're going to see almost like a triangle sort of thing with him and Kelly, or at least that's what we thought at the time. But it does lead to some funny shenanigans, and I honestly really enjoy that kind of tension.
Yeah, it honestly, like, I remember at this point for me, like it put a knot in everything because like it kind of put it into my head because like we don't really know at this point like who's on, like who's actually like on the true side. Like we have people's opinions and we know, but like seeing this, it's like, oh, is Ling Zan like was she like kind of like getting with Owen to eventually lead her on to this point, and she's not ready to see him because she feels bad for what she did, like. I kind of like that went through my head, different stuff like that. So it really like just so many possibilities, and like, yeah, we definitely know, like, regardless, yeah, when no one sees Ling Zan, and I think we can all say that's inevitable. Yeah, it's some emotional stuff.
I'm definitely looking forward to the love triangle tension, because when they thought she was dead, it was already there, the tension, right? And now she's alive, and they're all on the same island, in her dad's island. So
all those like guilty thoughts that you know what I mean, those daydreams that Owen's been having.
All those lunch times he's been going up to the water tower.
Oh yeah, and manifesting that butterfly moment. If you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's all come down to this.
The butterfly's back for real this time. But anyway, back to the RC Coda. This was a good edition of RC Coda. I think the beginning was a little bit, them just making some jokes that think about the joke about the snakes can't fly joke, and they want that on the Letterman jacket. I agree, because that's hilarious. Then Kirkman jokes about, I could totally see me eventually tying Super Dinosaur, Battle Pope, and The Walking Dead into one big mega universe near the end of my career as a last-ditch effort for the for relevancy that really just brings it all crashing down around me. It's crazy because now you consider how big like Invincible is, and it's just like, well, I guess there's just so much you could do with that universe alone, if ever need be, Robert. But don't worry, we're going to be here to spread the good gospel of the firepower and keep things roasty as always. But also just before we continue, I want to give a shout out to Greg, aka Greg Tortle, who is just a big OG, just always interacting with the podcast and just love. Thanks for your support and for being awesome. So yeah, moving on to the RC Coda. So here Robert talks about how like there was that page where we see Owen crash into that island, and then in the next page, like he's with Shenzhou, and he talks about like actually what really happened was like that's a different island, and he blacked out, and someone found him. That was interesting, and I was like, you know what? Like after he explained it all, and then like Chris Samnee just replied like, "Do you really need to do that? Like it's just comic book stuff, and like are we overthinking it?" And I'm like, I feel like this is a case of like we're overthinking it.
Yeah, I do like that stuff. Oh, sorry. But just real quick, like what I really liked about Invincible, like he's good at doing that thing, like kind of just not skipping over events, but like Invincible, like they'll talk about getting a costume and they'll just like be there, like trying it on, like it doesn't show like any like all the stuff in between that's not really like as like meaningful. Yeah, like overthinking stuff.
Yeah.
Because when I first read this, like that wasn't something that I like actively thought about or bothered me. Like how the hell did he get there? Like he fell, someone found him, he's there. You don't need to nitpick too much about it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. Do you guys want to see a R-rated version of this of his original plan? I love how this was the scene, like they basically said like this was from the original concept of this story. This was a scene, like this plane scene that they wanted to put in the book, but just this R-rated version of actually flaying off the snake girl's skin and using it as a parachute. I want to see Chris Samnee draw an issue of that.
That would be hilarious.
That would be hilarious. Like what a crazy idea. But no, I just love it.
One thing I thought interesting was how like they talk about how Chris Samnee mentions in particular how he placed a lot of emphasis on design and layout, and he designed each place in like very unique design in order to distinguish them more easily. For example, he says, "This island is the only place where there's grass. The Scorched Earth clan has a whole lot of glass, in addition to their also rustic island design, but there's no glass on Weilan's temple. That was an aesthetic choice. So that one looks more modern and one looks dilapidated." And then he says, "And a lot of sharp right angles and 45-degree angles in the architecture. But with Weilan and the temple, everything is rustic and beaten, and there's a lot of organic rock shapes and wood. I mean, there's wood in the Scorched Earth clan space too, but it's straight angles and it's new. It's wood grain, but it's not rustic, if that makes sense." And it's really interesting to see like how much goes into that kind of stuff. Yeah, just to get into like the head of the artist for a moment and to see how much they put into it. Very interesting.
No, it's always just cool every time hearing what they have to say. Yeah, no, I think this was like one of the coolest ones in a while, and I remember earlier on in one of the earlier RC codas they teased this costume, but I love particularly like how they got that on the very first try.
Yeah.
Which is just crazy. Like it looks so good.
Alex Tothian of Chris Samnee, I might even say. But it's very interesting that at the end they're saying like, okay, we end with the big Lang Zan reveal she's still alive, and Chris Samnee says, "I had a damn ball. I was so glad to have her back. I just drew trees all day." And then Robert Kirkman says, "There really is a lot of vegetation." And Chris Samnee's like, "Yeah, I was having a good old time." So apparently Chris Samnee likes to draw the green when he's happy. So I thought that was hilarious. I love that. I find that really endearing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what a great way to we know we said we were gonna do 2 issues last episode, but we're gonna keep that for the next episode because we think this is a good place to end it on. I mean, what a big cliffhanger. Last issue we ended on a cliffhanger or a drop, I might say. And that drop, I mean, lasted most of this issue and it was pretty exciting. I mean, I really do love this issue in retrospect. Like, having said earlier that this is like the not God knows how many times we've read this issue, but I still love this issue, and I love it even more each time because it's just fun on rereads. Big cliffhanger at the end. I'm really excited to talk about the repercussions of next issue, in the next 2 issues, I guess, on the next episode because a lot happens. And yeah, anything else you guys want to add to this?
No, that was a great issue. I think that's one of my favorite fight scenes in the whole series so far, which is saying something because it gets a lot crazier and a lot of revelations. It only keeps getting better. I know I say this every time, but like it literally just it keeps getting better and better and
Yeah.
more exciting.
The cover actually happened. They didn't lie to us.
Yeah,
The cover
yeah.
basically happened, literally. So
That's actually one of my little pet peeves with comics when the cover has absolutely nothing to do with what's going on in the book.
Yep.
But I'm glad they kept it faithful here.
Yeah. I just like teasing a little ahead. I just like read through 10 too, and it really does have a good start. Like it kind of starts like seems kind of like a new arc, but that's just like Kirkman's awesome pacing. So yeah, no, can't wait, and it's kind of a good start and a good ending on kind of this little arc. Like he's kind of in a new place now, and we're gonna see where he goes from here. We find out a lot of new things, and he has a costume now. So yeah, this was definitely a big issue, and yeah,
Lots happening. New alliances, and also if you're one of those people who just blasted through this issues like we did, just go either reread it or just read it slower and take in those beautiful Samnee and Wilson visuals and even Wooten visuals because Lord of the Rings is insanely gorgeous. So
pick up the hardcover too. It looks even better. Looks even better in there. It really does.
That is a fantastic suggestion. Please get the hardcover. It's fantastic. It's just awesome. So yeah, I think that's good. And yeah, we'll see you next time, everyone. Stay roasted.